You wake up one morning and something's off. Your body isn't responding the way it used to. The workout that made you feel unstoppable 6 months ago now leaves you completely wrecked. Your knees ache in ways they never did before. Your waistline is shifting no matter what you try. And here's what nobody told you until now. This isn't about trying harder. There's a hidden mechanism at work inside your body right now, something that flipped a switch you didn't even know existed. And if you keep doing what you've always done, you're not just spinning your wheels, you're actively working against yourself. I'm Susan Whitaker, and I've spent 2 decades helping women navigate exactly this moment. What I'm about to share with you will change how you think about your body after 40. Because the truth is, menopause didn't just adjust a few settings, it completely rewrote your operating system. And most women are still running the old software. Stay with me because in just a few minutes I'm going to show you the 5 movements that reverse this process. But first you need to understand why everything changed and what's happening inside your body that makes the old rules completely obsolete. I know how hopeless it feels when nothing works, your diet, your workouts, even your sleep. But after 2 decades working with women in menopause, I discovered the hidden steps that actually turn things around. I put them in one blueprint for you. It's pinned down below in the comments. Trust me, you'll thank yourself for checking it. Now let's get back to where we were. Let's talk about something you've probably noticed but couldn't quite explain. Your knees. They started complaining during movements that used to feel effortless. Most women respond by avoiding squats altogether, which seems logical until you realize what that avoidance actually costs you. Because here's what's really happening. When you stop loading those joints, the muscles that protect them start shutting down. And as those muscles weaken, every step you take, every stair you climb, every time you stand up from a chair, your body compensates in ways that create even more problems down the line. But there's a specific technique that changes everything, and it works by doing something counterintuitive. The Spanish squat uses resistance in a way that actually makes your knees feel better while making them stronger. Here's how it works. You anchor a strong band at knee height and step into it, so it wraps behind your legs just above the knees. Your feet go shoulder width apart with toes slightly turned out. Now here's the interesting part. As you lower down, that band gives you instant feedback, guiding your knees into safer alignment. And this is why so many of my clients tell me the sharp ache they felt during regular squats simply disappears with this version. Lower yourself slowly while keeping your heels planted. Pause for 2 full seconds at the bottom. Then stand as you exhale. Start with 3 sets of 10 to 15 repetitions. But before you commit to full sets, try this quick test. Do 1 slow rep right now and pay attention to your front thighs. Feel them switch on? If not, shift your feet slightly forward until you feel that quad activation firing. And if you're dealing with knee sensitivity, you can regress this by doing a partial squat or sitting back to a chair while keeping the band around your knees. Both options let you build strength safely while protecting the joint. My clients who stick with this call it foundational, and once you feel your knees becoming more stable and supported, something interesting starts to happen. You realize there's another layer of weakness hiding underneath. Something in your hips that affects your balance in ways you haven't fully connected yet. And this is where most programs completely miss the mark. There's a position that looks deceptively simple, almost too easy to matter, yet it targets a weakness that shows up everywhere in your daily life. You've probably felt it. That moment of hesitation when you step off a curb. The stiffness in your hips after sitting for an hour. The subtle loss of confidence in your balance that makes you just a little more cautious than you used to be. Stretching doesn't fix this. And here's why. What you actually need isn't more flexibility, it's strength to hold you steady from the inside out. The horse stance does something stretching never will. You set your feet wider than shoulder width with toes, slightly turn out and lower your hips until your thighs are nearly parallel to the floor. Then you just hold. Sounds simple, but stay with me because what happens next is crucial. In this static position, your inner thighs, glutes, and core all have to fire together to keep you stable. These are the exact muscle groups that weaken most during hormonal shifts. And when you wake them back up, they create a foundation that supports almost everything else you do. A stronger hip and inner thigh complex doesn't just make workouts easier, it makes you feel steadier getting out of bed, walking on uneven ground, carrying things, all the movements that determine whether you feel confident or cautious in your own body. Form is critical here. Keep your chest tall and press through your heels. Breathe in as you lower, breathe out as you hold. If your knees start collapsing inward, bring your stance in a bit or don't go as deep until you can track them properly over your toes. Start with 10 to 15 seconds, using a chair or wall if you need support. Add 5 seconds each week. or sink an inch deeper as you get stronger. Pause right now and test a 10-second hold. Feel that burn in your inner thighs? That's exactly what we're after. That tells you you're hitting the right muscles. And once you build that kind of lower body stability, you start noticing something else, something happening in your upper body that's been creeping up, so gradually you almost didn't see it coming. Look at a photo of yourself from 5 years ago. Notice anything different about how you're standing? Most women see it immediately once it's pointed out. Your shoulders have started rounding forward. Your upper back has that slight curve that wasn't there before. And this isn't just about appearance, though that matters too. This postural shift affects how you feel, how you move, and how much energy it takes to get through your day. Here's what's really going on. Menopause often brings tightness through the upper back and shoulders, and most workouts make this worse because they load you up with pushing movements like push-ups and presses, while completely ignoring the pulling muscles that actually keep you upright. It's like building a house with all the weight on one side and wondering why it starts to lean. The resistance band row is the counterbalance your body is craving. It strengthens the muscles between your shoulder blades and the back of your shoulders, the ones that act like scaffolding for your entire upper body. When these muscles are strong, your shoulders naturally pull back instead of caving forward. Your posture improves without you even thinking about it. And this doesn't just change how you look, it changes how your spine feels during every single movement you make, from carrying groceries to sitting at your desk. Set up a resistance band anchored at chest height. Stand upright or with the smallest hinge at your hips. Hold the band in both hands and step back until you feel light tension. Keep your chest lifted. Pull your hands back toward your ribs with your elbows close to your sides and finish each rep by squeezing your shoulder blades together like you're trying to hold a pencil between them. Avoid shrugging your shoulders up as you pull. Do 3 sets of 12 to 15 slow, controlled reps. If your shoulders feel tight, sit down to row or shorten your range of motion. To make it harder, step farther back or use a thicker band. And if you feel any sharp pain in the front of your shoulder, stop immediately. Try a slightly wider elbow angle, and if it still pinches, check in with a professional before continuing. Building this pulling strength restores balance to your entire frame. And once that balance is in place, there's one more movement pattern that most women avoid completely, yet it's one of the most practical things you can do to maintain real-world strength as you age. And this is where things get really interesting. Most women over 40 won't press anything overhead. They're either afraid of shoulder pain, or they've lost confidence with weight above their head. And I get it because that fear is based on real experience. But here's the problem with avoidance. When you skip this movement pattern entirely, the stabilizing muscles around your shoulders get weaker, and those small compensations you make to avoid discomfort actually create bigger problems down the line. The overhead press, when taught correctly and progressed carefully, can improve shoulder function and reduce the very issues that make women avoid it in the first place. Here's what it really does. Using light dumbbells or even a loaded backpack, you press upward through your available range of motion. This isn't just a shoulder exercise. Your upper back and core have to engage throughout the entire movement, giving you strength all the way through. Pressing loads the bones in your upper body, which becomes increasingly important as estrogen declines. And it maintains the practical strength you need for real life, like putting luggage in an overhead bin or reaching something on a high shelf. These aren't gym movements, they're life movements. Start either standing or seated with your feet firmly planted. Hold your weights with a neutral grip so your palms face each other. Keep your elbows slightly in front of your body, not pointed straight out to the sides. This angle, called the scapular plane, is safer for most shoulders. Brace your core, exhale fully as you press, and do 3 sets of 8 to 12 reps. Try 1 rep right now. If you feel grinding or sharp pain, stop and switch to the seated version or adjust to a neutral grip. If pressing overhead still feels too demanding, regress to a floor press or use a small hip drive to assist the movement. Increase your load or range only when you can move fully and completely pain-free. These adjustments keep the exercise safe, useful, and sustainable. Strong pressing changes how you move through daily life. And once that strength base is established, there's one final piece that ties everything together. Something so simple you probably walk right past it every single day without realizing its potential. You're already walking. Maybe you walk your dog. Maybe you take a morning stroll. Maybe you pace while you're on the phone. But here's what most women don't realize. You can take that exact same activity and transform it into full body training without adding a single extra minute to your day. Weighted walking is the ultimate efficiency hack. Adding even a small load to your daily walk instantly changes the challenge without needing a gym, fancy equipment, or extra time carved out of your schedule. Here's why this matters now more than ever. Regular walking is valuable, but as you move through menopause, your body needs more stimulus to maintain strength and bone density. Carrying extra load during your walk increases the mechanical challenge to your bones and muscles in a way that helps preserve function over time. It's like sending a signal to your system that says stay ready, stay strong, instead of letting it coast into decline. Start light. Think about the weight of a small handbag or just a few pounds in a backpack. You want to feel a mild extra challenge, not something that throws off your stride or your posture. Begin with short walks 2 or 3 times each week, then either add a few more minutes or a small increase in weight once you feel stable and comfortable. Progress slowly, so your joints and posture have time to adapt. Pack the load high on your back to keep your center of gravity in the right place. Keep your spine neutral and shorten your stride slightly to maintain balance. Focus on steady breathing with each step. If you notice any back or joint discomfort, lower the weight immediately. And if you have a history of back or heart issues, check with your healthcare provider before adding load to your walks. Weighted walking takes something that might feel passive and routine and turns it into active whole body training. And when you layer this in with the other 4 movements, you've built a complete system that covers strength, stability, and mobility in one practical, low-cost approach. These 5 moves work together to keep you strong, capable, and confident through menopause and beyond. And when you pair them with the right nutrition strategy, the results compound in ways that surprise most women. When it comes to food, one shift matters more than anything else. Add more protein to your meals. Not a little more, significantly more. Because protein supports muscle repair, recovery, and retention, especially when estrogen is declining. 2 resistance sessions per week plus extra protein at each meal will move the needle more than anything else you try. Small steps compound over time into major shifts in how you feel and function. Here's your action checklist for today. Try a Spanish squat and feel your quads fire. Hold a horse stance for 10 seconds and notice what lights up. Do 1 set of band rows and feel your shoulders pull back. Press something light overhead in the scapular plane. Add just 2 pounds to your next walk and notice the difference. If this helped, subscribe for more safe, effective routines designed specifically for women navigating menopause. This isn't about doing more. It's about doing smarter. And now you know exactly how. If you've ever felt betrayed by your own body, tired, heavier, invisible, you need to hear this. In my 20 years helping women through menopause, I've uncovered secrets nobody talks about. This video scratches the surface, but the full step-by-step protocol to feel alive again is waiting down below in the pinned comment. Don't leave without it.